Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm Kate, and this is Yoga for Bone Health, um, osteoporosis, osteopenia, and just working on strengthening the body. So, I'm noticing as I'm talking right here that I have my feet in an awkward position. So, that is one thing to keep in mind to check in with the body and notice what you're doing. So, that may not happen all the time, but occasionally we stand awkwardly, and that can affect our feet and ankles, which we will get to those videos soonish. Still working on how I'm going to format those. Anyway, so what do you need for today? I have a strap and a chair, a blanket, blocks, and I have a balance pole. So you don't need all of those, but definitely the strap for today. And if you have some balance issues, a chair or the pole or a wall, any of those will work. And then I think that's it for being prepped, but let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start down on the floor, and then we're going to do some stuff on the floor, and then we'll come up to standing. So to start out with, come down to the floor. And we're going to come all the way onto our back. All right, so you can do this first position or pose, as we like to say, either with the knees bent and feet in the mat or legs straight out. So if this is a little ouchy, this might feel better. And you might be able to notice a little better what we're actually doing. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see better without my arm there in the way. So we have a neutral pelvis, supposedly. It may not be neutral right now. You might have a sway or a tilt in there. But what we want to do to start out with is just play with that tilt and sway back and forth. So you can do that by pushing in with the feet, and that is going to flatten out that lower back and tilt the top of the pelvis into the earth. The tailbone is going to come up a little bit. And then we're going to do the reverse move. So we're going to make some space right under here in that lower spine. And just back and forth a couple times, making some space there. And if anything is tight, you want to take the breath and breathe into it. So tilting away, this is our inhale. And then when you tilt back, that's our exhale. Beautiful. All right, so our next movement is going to be a one-legged Apanasana. So we're just going to bring one knee in towards the chest at a time. And then let's add the breath if you haven't already. So every time a knee comes in, that's an exhale. We're moving space up and out. Inhale, bring that foot back down. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, back down. Beautiful. And then both feet come down to the mat. If you want to go back and come back to a little bit of symmetric, we can do that pelvic tilt again. That might feel nice. And then we're going to do a simple twist here. So we're going to extend one leg straight out. So I'm starting with my left leg straight out. I'm going to bring my right foot on top of my left knee. I'm going to bring my arms out to the sides in a T. And then I'm going to bring my right knee towards the left side of the floor. You can go just as far as is comfortable. And then we'll bring it back to center. Bring that foot down, and we'll go to the other side. Bringing that left foot on top of that right knee. And then just going as far as is comfortable, bring that left knee towards the right side of the floor. And then bring it back. And let's do both sides one more time each. And if you want to add on to the twist here, you can turn and look towards the opposite hand. If that's too much for the neck, look straight up. Or you could even look towards the same direction as the knee. We'll bring that back and switch feet again. And again, the head can go in any direction that's comfortable. Excellent. All right, so let's bring that back. Let's bend both knees. And let's come back to that pelvic tilt again. All right, our next pose, we're going to do our bridge pose. So we're going to do this 3 different ways, and we'll do each one 3 times. So to start, we're just going to lift the hips, but I'm going to do it with my robot arms, which is bent at the elbow, finger pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to line the feet and the knees and the hips up. And ready. On an inhale, push in with the feet. We're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, lifting from that hip points. And then exhale, release it back down. Again, just like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. And one more time like that. Push in, inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Nice. Now we're going to add the arms. If you're comfortable with that, if you want to stay with the robot arms, you can do that. So here we go. So we're going to inhale. Arms come up overhead. Hips come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms down, hips down. If you feel like you're having trouble keeping the knees from going one way or the other, if you have a block handy, you can bring the block in between the thighs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. And one more time like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Very nice. All right, so we're going to do one more round, and we're going to add a breath in at the top here. All right, so we're getting everything lined up again. So we're going to inhale, lift, arms up, hips up. And then we're going to exhale and release just the hips. So this is one of my favorite shoulder openers. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms come down by your sides. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the hips. Exhale, release just the hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, arms up, hips up. Exhale, release just the hips. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Excellent. All right, now it's time to grab your strap. We're going to do one more thing before we do the strap, but just have it handy. So we're going to do windshield wipers here. So what we want to do is we're going to bring the feet out at least as wide as the mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring one knee in and then bring it back up. And then bring the other knee in. So I'm going to turn so you can see what my knees are doing here. So my feet are wide. I'm going to drop one knee in towards the other leg. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, drop the other side in towards the center. Inhale, bring it back up. So go ahead and do that each side a couple times. Very nice. And then finish off evenly, same amount of times each side. And then we're going to go grab your strap. And so we're going to do a couple directions with the legs here. So I'm just going to stay right here so you can see what my legs are doing. All right. So I'm going to bring my right foot into the strap. And the first thing I want to do is not grip the strap. So I'm just going to gently move my arms down towards the floor. And what I'm doing next is I'm going to push the foot into the strap and pull the strap down towards the earth. So I'm setting the femur, that leg bone, into that hip socket, strengthening back of the leg muscles. I can feel it in my hamstrings. And then release that. And I'm just going to gently bring my leg in towards my torso. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. And again, leg in towards the torso. Exhale, release, and one more time. Beautiful. And next direction is out towards the outside. Right leg towards the right side of the floor. If you did your left leg first, left leg towards the left side of the floor. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring it back up. And again, push that foot into the strap as it goes down. See if you can engage some of those muscles. And one more time. Very nice. All right, let's switch sides. Or no, we'll go across the body. So we'll bring one arm out, and we're just going to bring the leg over towards the opposite side. So we're getting a nice opening on the outside of that hip there. IT band maybe. Bring it back up, and then over again. And one more time. Up and over. Beautiful. All right, I'll bring that foot back up to center. We're going to switch feet. So we'll bring that left foot up. Same thing to start here. So instead of gripping with the hands, we're just going to slightly bring the arms down towards the floor. We're going to push the foot up into the strap and pull the strap down. Very nice. And then relax that. Then we're going to bring the leg in towards the torso. So foot towards the top of the head. Just that general direction. We're not actually going to bring that leg that close. And one more time. Nice. All right. So both straps in the left hand. Left leg's going to go out towards the left side of the floor. And bring it back up. And two more times out. And up. And we're pushing into the strap out. And up. Very nice. All right, let's go the opposite direction, crossing the body, opening up this outside of that leg. And one more time. And back to center. Excellent. All right. So we can go ahead and put this off to the side for now. And I'll come back around this way. And we are going to come up to hands and knees. All right, so let's come into, we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So we're going to curl the toes under. And on an inhale, we're going to lift. And we're just going to lift up off of the knees, off of the floor to start. And then you can set them back down. So we're strengthening the feet here and the arms. Load bearing on the arms and feet. Bring it back down. And one more time like that. And back down. Release the feet, pound them into the mat. And then let's go up into a full down dog. Inhale, lift the hips all the way up. I like to do my feet wide at the bottom of the mat. Push in with the hands. And then we're going to walk our dog here, stretching out the back of the legs. And then, if you can, bring the heels down towards the floor. They don't have to touch, but that's where our aim is. And then we're going to push in with the hands and lengthen the spine, making space in between the vertebrae. Excellent. And then from here, we're going to bring the feet back towards center and come into a plank. And then push back up to down dog. Back to plank. And let's do that 2 more times. Down dog. Back to plank. And last one. Down dog. Back to plank. Excellent. We're going to come down to the knees. And then we're going to come all the way down onto the belly. So we're going to come into baby cobra. So we want to get tops of feet on the mat. And we're going to start with our alligator pose. So this is our belly rest pose. Elbows out, hands stacked, and then the forehead rests on the hands. All right, awesome. So our baby cobra. So we're going to bring our hands under our shoulders, elbows up against the ribs. And we're going to start with the forehead resting on the floor. And we're lifting from the back of the neck. The mother cat picking up the kitten by the scruff of the neck. That's what we're looking at. So we're going to lift from the back of the neck. On an inhale, we're going to keep our gaze towards the floor till we get to our top of our pose, and then we're going to look forward. On the exhale, we're going to tuck the chin back down and bring the forehead back down towards the floor. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift from the back of the neck till you get to the top, and then look up and forward. Exhale, drop the chin back down, bringing the forehead back to the floor. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Come back to alligator pose. Stack the hands, rest the forehead on the hands. All right, when you're ready, we're going to come up to our child's pose. So for bone health, we want to keep the forward fold out of the child's pose. So instead of coming all the way down and rounding, we want to keep the back closer to a straight line. So depending on what that looks like for you, you can move the knees out a little bit, make space for the belly. And then wherever you need to, the top of the block, level 2 or level 1. You can always put a blanket on top of the block if it's a little rough. And just feel the restfulness of this pose. When we do it like this is more of a long spine than a rounded spine. And just let go of the breath and just relax here. We're not pushing to get into anything or trying to do anything. We're just in a restful state. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to come out of our child's pose and come up to standing. So how does that look for you if you have trouble getting up and you have your blocks handy? Spread them out wide. Come up to hands and knees, hands on the blocks, and then we're going to lift one foot up. You can do it with a hand or if it comes up on its own. And then step up to the other foot and then come up with a nice straight spine. All right. So our first standing pose here is leaning goddess. So when I started, I was standing with my feet out wide. We're actually going to go even wider than that with the feet out. And we're going to track the knees over that second and third toe. You're going to bend the knees. And if you want, you can even look that way. So we don't want them coming in. We're using the muscles of the thighs to strengthen those bones. And we're going to hinge at the hip here. So you can have your hands on the thighs if you want. Better yet, if you can, arms out. And we're just going to tilt forward a little bit here. Take a couple breaths. Extend out through the fingers. Energy goes out, and then we're going to pull the bones in. And then when you're ready to come out, we're going to push in with the feet and then drop the arms. Beautiful. All right, next we're going to come into our tree pose. So bring the feet in a little bit closer. A couple of options. Chair, wall, pole to do your tree pose. Depending on how your balance is. If you have great balance, great, you can go all the way. If you are a little shaky, you can have the chair just here. And what we want to do is we're not gripping onto the chair and holding onto for dear life. We're just touching the top of it. Same thing with the wall. We're not gripping. It's just here for our slight wobbles. All right. So let's pick a foot and let's do the four corners of this foot. Big toe, pinky toe, inside of the heel, outside of the heel. So cross, engaging those muscles. And lift up on the arch and relax it. Lift up on the outside arch, relax it. Activate that foot. All right, and then we're going to bring the second foot, heel above the ankle, and just pause here. Check in with this outside hip, that we're not leaning into it. We want that nice and tall and strong. And then this hip is open, nice and relaxed. So strong on one side, open, relaxed on the other. Now this may be your pose today, and that's great. You can just stay in this. You can bring your hands to your heart, or you can leave them on your hips, or arms can be out. You can hold on to something if you need. If you feel like you want to step this up, you can add the arms and grow your branches. And the arms can stay stationary. If you want to work on that upper back posture, you can do some cactus arms, or Ys are fun. If you like to move, which isn't the worst thing, it's actually kind of good for your balance. Get used to movement while you're standing. And then you can add on the legs if you want. So you can bring your foot up higher. Check in with this nice strong hip. Keep that foot engaged. If you get a little wobbly, extend up from the crown of the head. Whatever your pose looks like today. And let's take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then coming out nice and graceful. Excellent. All right. You can shake those legs out. Shake the arms out. And then when you're ready, let's do the other side. All right. Root that foot. Big toe, little toe, inside, outside of the heel. Engage the roots of that foot. We're going to bring the other heel above the ankle for our tripod to start. Hands can be wherever comfortable. You can grow your branches when you're ready, if you want. And we're going to, this time, if you didn't do it already last time, is find a place for your gaze where nothing else is moving. This will help keep us a little bit more steady. We keep the breath going. If you feel like you have your balance and you want, you can bring your foot up higher. Or keep it where it is. And again, you can do cactus arms, pull the shoulder blades together. Y, lift the heart light. Or whatever feels good with the arms today. Even straight up. Excellent. All right, let's take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, coming out nice and graceful. Excellent. All right, we're going to shake those legs out. And next we're going to come into our triangle pose, and then we're going to do a revolved triangle. So I typically like a block for this. If that's too far down to reach for you, grab your chair, and I will show you both. All right, so let's start with a regular triangle. So we're going to step 1 foot forward. The other foot is back. All right, so I have my block and my chair handy. All right, so we'll start with the hands of the heart, arms open, out. We're going to extend forward with this front arm, and then we're hinging at that hip joint. So you can come down to the chair. This upper arm can be straight up toward the ceiling, or if there's a shoulder issue there, you can leave that hand on the hip. And if you want, come down to the block, or even down to the floor. So what we want to keep in mind is where this upper shoulder is. So we don't want to be collapsing into this. Be lifting up. And then we're going to come back up. And I'll do the other side, and then we'll revolve the triangle. So bend that front knee, step the feet together. Just flip this around this way. And sometimes people feel like if they're using a tool, a chair, a block, a strap, whatever, that they're not doing it good enough. And what they feel like is, oh, I'm not doing it right because I need this prop, but especially for bone health, we want to look at the function of the pose instead of the form. So it is more important for the body to be open in the right places, the muscles to be engaged in the right way, than having a certain, oh, this is what your triangle looks like. And I think I showed you when I collapsed what that, the reason why that is. So we're going to open up again and extend forward with that front arm, hinge at that front hip, and come down to the chair. So if I'm coming down and collapsing, I'm losing this nice long line in the spine. If I'm collapsing like this, I'm losing the breath. So you can have that front knee have a little micro bend in it, and actually, if you use the muscle above the knee to pull the kneecap up, you're protecting the knee joint and strengthening it. Or you can be down on the block without losing that openness. Excellent. All right, so we're going to come back out. Drop the arms, step the feet together. And I'm going to just leave the chair here and do the revolve triangle. So I'm going to step the other foot forward, arms out to the side, extend forward with that front arm. So we'll come back to triangle, and then we're going to revolve it. So I'm going to bring the opposite arm down. I'm going to go to the block. You can use the chair. And bring that opposite arm up. Check in with the knee. Check in with your shoulders. All right, and then bring that arm down, bend that front knee, and we'll come back up. Awesome. All right, I think I'm just going to leave the chair here. And we'll do the other side. So step the other foot forward, arms out, extend forward. Bring that arm down. Second arm comes down, and then we're going to revolve our triangle. Excellent. Take another breath. And then we'll bring that arm down. Bring this arm up. Drop the arms. Step the feet together. Shake them out. Excellent. Beautiful. All right. We're going to do three more standing poses, and then make our way back down to the floor. All right. So our next one is we're going to do a standing lunge. So again, if you're a little wobbly on your feet, you can do this with a chair. Back of the chair. And we're going to step one foot forward. You have that front knee bent. And this can be your pose right here. You can lift one arm up at a time if you want to do that. Otherwise, we will go ahead and do it without the chair. All right, so I'm going to step 1 foot forward. And I'm up on my back toes. If that is too wobbly, set the heel down towards the inside. And then we're going to inhale and lift the arms up. And this time, let's do cactus arms. Engaging those upper back muscles, strengthening the upper back to help keep our posture upright. Check in with the knee. And then we'll release, step that foot back up. And then let's do the other side. We'll do it from the front this time, so I'll step the other foot back. And we're going to lift the arms up. And let's do that cactus arm again. Engaging the arms. And again, you can always set the heel down. Like it's a little wobbly. So we have that nice strong knee in the front. Engaging those upper back muscles. Excellent. And then release and step that foot forward. All right, side angle pose. So it's similar to our triangle, but we have that front knee bent instead of straight. So we'll bend that front knee. And let's go, let's see. We'll bring this front arm up, same arm as leg that's in front. I have my right arm and right leg forward. We're going to bend that front knee, front forearm comes to that front leg. And then this back arm can stay on the hip or come up towards the ceiling or bicep above the ear, if that's comfortable. However that feels good for you. Take a breath or so here. And then when you're ready to come back up, and then drop the arms, step the feet together, and we'll go to the other side. Bend that front knee. And then bend that front forearm. This back arm can come up towards the ceiling, stay on the hip, or bicep over the ear. Whatever feels good for you today. Take a couple breaths on this side. And then when you're ready, you pull back up. Drop the arms and step the feet back together. All right, shake anything out that needs shaking. And our last standing pose before we come back down to the floor. So we're going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So minimum length or minimum width of your mat, or I have my mats crossed so I can just step out a little bit wider. You can go sideways on your mat. All right. So we're going to start with hands on the hips. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look up, and then on the exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. If you have your block or your chair handy and you want to come to that, you can do that. Maybe you're reaching to the floor, that's fine, but not required. And let's just take a couple of breaths here. So we want a nice, long, strong spine. We don't want to be bent over and crowded. We want that length and strength. And one or two more breaths here. When you're ready to come out, you can use the blocks or the chair. Bend the knees. Hands can come to the thighs and then walk it back up. We want to keep that spine. We don't want to round up. We want to keep that nice and straight. All right. And heel toe the feet back together. Excellent. All right. So let's come down to the floor and we will take a little time and come into our, we'll do a little bit of movement and then we'll come into our relaxation pose. All right. So down to the floor. All the way onto the back. And let's do two-legged Apanasana. We're going to keep the knees nice and wide. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, knees out. Beautiful. And then let's bring feet down to the mat and let's do that pelvic tilt we started class with. So we're going to bend the knees, feet into the mat, and then we're just going to tilt back and forth. And then from here, give you a couple of options. So you can keep the knees bent, bring the feet out wide, and then bring the knees in. Bit of a rest, like this. If you have your chair handy and can get it without too much fuss, you can bring your legs up onto the chair. Or you can extend the legs all the way straight out. So whatever is the most comfortable for your relaxation pose. Getting any last little wiggles out. And let's notice how supported we are by the earth to start here for our relaxation pose. So noticing what is touching the earth. And we're relaxing all of the muscles, releasing all of the joints, letting go of the breath, letting go of any last little thoughts. We're going to let go of holding on to the earth. Gravity is our friend, and we are right where we need to be. Take the next few moments and just be. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. Turn off the video and really spend some time relaxing. Otherwise, when you're ready, we're going to come out gently, bringing your attention into the room, and wiggle toes and fingers. And maybe you like to roll your head side to side. If your legs are up on a chair, moving the chair out of the way. And then when you're ready, no matter where you are, rolling over onto your right or left side, you can use a bent arm as support for your head before you come up. And then if you need to, having blocks or your chair handy, to then inhale and come up to a seated posture. And from here, let's do a quick little back opening, open front of the chest opening breath. So it's going to look like this. It's our sun breath number 3. Palms together, elbows together. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Again, inhale, open. Exhale, close. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Hands together, back of the heart. And namaste. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.